Okay guys, this will be the last video in this series, and while we were away I did a couple of things. I went ahead and I decided to use the off scraps of these to make pockets here and then here, and then I decorated a couple of tags here for the back side. And I've decided not to put tassels on every tag in here because this book would be like this big. Okay, so what I did decide was that we would put in this one, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and I already cut the lace for these, and I think that's what I'm going to trim out all of these with. So I'll do a couple, and then I'll do like a really quick flip through, and then I'll count that good for the Etsy listing too. This one is going in the Etsy shop. Of course, I will I'm not going to charge as much as I usually probably would for it, mostly because of that spine. While I like it, it's not, I don't know. I feel like it's just off a little bit from what I would normally do. And so, yeah, I'm just going to do that. And then if you guys love this journal but don't want to make one on your own and want one, just let me know. I'm contemplating doing special orders. Maybe, I don't know. I guess it would kind of have to depend on, you know, the interest. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you while we're gluing on these things, because normally I would sew them on, but one, it's obviously already in the signature, and I do all the sewing on the signatures before they get bound. Where was I going with this? All right, give me a second. Oh my gosh, where was I? Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is the one thing I wanted to show you. So, oh, I guess, okay, so I was talking about how I usually sew, if I'm going to do anything on the decorative pages, then I usually sew them in. And it would be the same concept as what we're doing here with the glue, except for obviously you would sew it. You know, I use a straight seam. Some people do zigzags. It's really up to you. Okay, so this, I know it's sideways right now, but okay, so see, here is the front of this page, right? So then you have the back. And then this one is also the front of the page, right? Okay, so now you want to go to the front of this page here, and you want the lace on this side, not on this side. I mean, you might want it that way, but for me in this journal, I want it on like the fronts of those. So yeah, you know, I'm really sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, well, and we were talking about for a second about how the eyelets didn't match up on the front side. And now you can't tell unless you're really, like, if you're really anal, you're going to notice it, but you're probably not going to notice it a bunch. Okay, and so then we have this one here. We'll go ahead and glue this one down. Also, why Fabri-Tac over art glitter glue for this? Well, because obviously lace is kind of fabric, right? So I mean, I'm sure I've used the art glitter glue before on these. Not on this part here, but like in decorations and stuff like that. And it seems to hold okay, but I I know for sure the Fabri-Tac does. So I guess for me, for myself, I would just much rather know for sure that it's gonna hold. Because I think one of my worst fears is somebody getting one of my journals and it not holding up. Like that is one of my fears. I do have to say, I do fear that. So I always try to make sure that there's plenty of glue without going crazy. And if you're not sure, like with the sewing, because it does take a while to make sure that you're sewing when you're doing these, that your sewing is, I don't want to say straight, but kind of straight on these edges, because, you know, lace likes to move, especially when you're using smooth cardstock. You're going to run into, sometimes your pieces look crazy, like it's kind of zigzagging. You can always tack these down, like with the glue, tack it first and then sew it. I did that in the very beginning just to make sure that, you know, I wasn't messing anything up. And then you get to a point where you're like, meh, I think I got it. I think I'm good. And also the other thing too with using Fabri-Tac over the art glitter glue on this particular portion is you can be totally rest assured that you have room to move. You can maneuver it a little bit, line it up a little straighter. Oops, a little too much glue. All right, so I don't know if you guys have jumped on the bandwagon of poking that hole through. It didn't work for me. Maybe I made the hole too big. I'm not sure. Because right after I filmed the last video, oh my goodness, like literally it was like volcanoing out of it. So yeah, there's that. All right, so you know what I think what's next is I'm in a group with Tracy Fox's group. I don't know if you guys have heard about it or not, but if not, you should definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of inspiration and a lot of support in it. And she's having a challenge, and it's the Altered Notebook Challenge for this month. And I'm sure if you watch a lot of YouTube like I do and like watch a bunch of different creators, you're going to see a bunch of them creating not journals, altered notebooks. So I think that is going to be my next video series. I guess it's not really going to be a series. We'll see how much, like how many I actually do with it. But I've decided to use Shabby Dabby Doodahs, and I'll have to look up the kit name for it. I've decided to use her kit on a few of them because when I first got my printer, like with everything that I get new, right? You got to try it out. Yeah, well, I ended up printing 14 of this particular kit. And at first I was like, oh, no big deal. I'll just do Mother's Day gifts for it, right? Pfft. Yeah, right. Because that was right at graduation. And, you know, obviously you got family's coming, so you got to clean house. And then Gracie had her birthday here. So, yeah, I have 14 full, like, journal kits plus all the embellishments printed. The stack is like this thick. 14 of them. Yeah, it's obnoxious. So it's just sitting there waiting patiently for me to do something with them. So I think I'm going to use a couple of them for the altered notebooks. And then I also have another stack because, you know, I didn't learn my lesson the first time with the printer. So I just kept like, why isn't it printing? Well, goofball, you don't have all the software installed. It was a nightmare. Like I said before, it is the bane of existence, technology is. So yeah, I have like, I did stop then. I have about 10 of Tracy Fox's little trifold butterfly things, and then some other of her just kind of miscellaneous tear pages and some of her nature things. So I'm going to make a couple of those. So, and then I don't know if you guys watch Rachel at Roxy Creations or not, but I really like how she's doing the inside pockets on her journals. So I think I might try to incorporate something like that in mine. So we'll see. We will see how they turn out. And then right out, I am just about done making and filming my August design team project for Artsology. And I don't know if you'll remember from a couple of videos ago, I said that I was doing a collaboration with Emily at M Ephemeris Treasures. So yeah, and then fair hits. So by next Monday, which today is Wednesday, so I have a meeting tomorrow night where I get my packets and everything for superintendent packets and all that. So I'll get that tomorrow night. And then the race is on. So then we have all kinds of like setup and pre-prep to do and all that kind of stuff. So you might not see this until next week, which that would be like around the 30th or so. But literally I will be slamming and a jamming until after the 7th. And then my in-laws are coming to visit again. So yeah, I'm trying my darndest to pre-record some of this so that like I'm not late on getting my Artsology out, and to make sure our collaboration goes off without a hitch. And actually with those, you'll end up seeing the flip through before you see any process videos. And, I will say one of the ones that I'm making, I think you'll really, really like, and it's, inspired by Lisa over at Handmade for Lisa, or from Lisa? Handmade by Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. So yeah, I think you'll really enjoy what I came up with for that, because I have to say, it hit me one night when I was sitting there making my list, like I've told you I make before, of, you know, ideas and whatever, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and so far it's turning out really cute. So I'm kind of excited for you to see it. Okay, and then I know we talked about in the last video using those tickets as belly bands. I just can't make it fit in that style in this book. I just can't. Like everywhere I tried to place it in this book, it just didn't make sense. It looked odd. I couldn't really get it's so big that the tags didn't really fit. It's not working for me. Long story short. So what I've decided to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and cut them apart really quick. And I think what I'm going to do, obviously I'm going to ink them through. Okay, and then see how these two don't have any color, and these two do. So let me grab my blue inker here. I'm going to go around these edges here on these, all 4 of them. Yep. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is put the lid on the Fabri-Tac, and then we're going to get the, let's see, what do I got to set on top of there? How about, no, almost empty box bottle of Fabri-Tac is not going to work. We'll do that. I'm going to take these and I'm going to make it like a little mini pocket here, okay? Just to add a little bit of spark and splendor there. Give it just a little bit of color. So I'm taking it, glue here, glue across, and then glue right here. Because I do want the space, even though we could put glue right here, I want the space, see how much further in it is? You're going to limit your space on how much you can put in that pocket. So I'm going to lay it right there. We're going to let that one dry for a second. Okay, we're going to flip here to the back. And I'm going to take and do the same thing to this one. Okay, place it down. Okay, so that one's down. Okay, now we're going to flip back to the front and it should be just about dry. And then out of the last little bits of the paper that I used, the other like scrapbooking paper, I was able to use my little punch. Let me see if I can find that one. And I used this one. It's an EK tool, and I mean, if I had to guess, that's like the 1 inch by 2 inch. So it just makes little bitty guys. I'm going to pop that one in here like that. And then I'm going to take the other admit 1 ticket and put it there. I'm going to call them good that way. Okay. And then so if you go over to My Porch Prints and you get this kit, I want to show you the only pieces I have left because I don't want them to be forgot about. Okay, so I used all the tags, all of the extra ephemeras, plus the extra gift that she gives you. The only things I did not use was this little pocket and this little piece here, this last tab. So that is the only things that are not in it. And at the end of the video, or in the description box, I'll go ahead and put a link to My Porch Prints, and then I'll write out exactly which kit it was, just in case you're curious and you just absolutely love this kit like I do. So let's go through the journal again really quick. Okay, so this was the eyelet thing that I was telling you about. It's off just a little bit. Okay. Oh, and you know what we need to do? We need to clip our strings. And I think I'm going to leave these ones just a little bit longer than the other journal. Okay. All right. So we have the cover, right? We laced it up. Remember that? Okay. We have the pockets. We have the flip throughs. Oh, it's not a flip through. Don't try to pull it, goober. Okay. So there's the envelopes here. We have our little tuck pockets here, parts of the graphics. And just if you're curious, this is coffee dyed and then this is Rit dyed. This is it is not a 2-process paper. It's just towards the end when you're Rit dyeing, your liquid will start to thin out, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It'll start diluting. So this is more or less the diluted purple that came through. This coffee, this is 2-process. It's actually 3. Okay, so it's first coffee, then it's blue, like royal blue Rit dye, and then the purple RIT dye. So, and kind of how I did it is obviously coffee dyed it first. So it started out here. Then I dipped it into the blue, the royal blue, and then I lay it flat, and then I pick up some of the purple and I spritz it around, and it lays flat to dry. And that's what makes these cool little color spots, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And see here, you can tell some of the coffee dye that was still on the table that I was using. So it just kind of makes interesting little patterns. Okay. Oh, a little bit of glue. There we go. All right, and then the back pocket here. So then remember, it flips closed. Okay, then the second signature is the blue with the little envelope here. Little pocket with some of the tags and journaling cards from the kits. Some of those 2 process papers. Oh, and I don't know if I said this earlier. Okay, so that's what these pockets are all about. So you can journal here, and then it just flips down. Okay. Okay, and then the pocket on the side. Do you see how pretty that is? You know, I think when I make another one of these, it'll be a while, but I think I'm going to try to find some like fall papers. I know Artsology has one out, but I love that. It's like a maroon color. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's a beautiful color, and it kind of blends in like with the little bird up here. It's just gorgeous. Okay, then under the third signature, remember it opens this way. So again, you have a little pocket here. Alright, so then we come to the last page here, and then it folds back up, and then you have the back cover here. Alright, so I hope that you have enjoyed this series and coming along with me. So this one will be listed by the time you see this video. I've decided not to add a closure to it just yet. I might, I'm not sure. Because most of the bulk comes from these, and so I'm guessing that whoever has it will probably move them around in it, and then that way when they do start moving it, it'll just flatten right back out. So yeah, by the time you see it, it'll be listed. Thank you guys for going along with this experiment with me. I have really enjoyed it, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Bye.